Hello and welcome to Equator Brain Squeeze. And this podcast that I'm designing is actually just a way for me to express feelings, thoughts, affirmations, quotes in regards to life and in regards to ourselves. And this first podcast is called Heal. And the reason why I put together this podcast is because my father's cousin, Josephine Mitsud from Malta, wrote this amazing book called Wisdom of Life. And when I saw the book, I had this very big urge just to read the actual quotes in there. And there's over 3,000 of them, and they're all original. So we could share them. So the podcast is just a way for you to play and just listen and allow the subconscious mind to reflect and to take on what is being said. So sit back and enjoy this first podcast, and it's all about healing. And the world is not a garden of roses. Very often we try to smell it, but sometimes we only get unpleasant fragrances. Simple pleasures enhance our lifestyle. Truth is a comfortable bed to sleep on. With a sterling education, you can aim high. One ridiculous step may ruin your life. Hypocrisy is an attribute that has a very way of putting on a dress of sincerity. Sometimes mistakes are embedded like foreign bodies, difficult to correct. Many people suffer in silence without trying to improve the situation. Courage is the answer. Principles make a cheerful leader. The mistakes of the past are forgotten, and today they're only history. And logic is the science of proof. It strengthens the way for agreements and for peace. And God gives us rewards. He gave existence and time, which are free. Manners are like diamonds, they make you glitter. When honesty and sincerity are practiced, you widen the horizon of friendship with people who leave footprints in your heart. A word of praise and a word of appreciation make you feel colourful like the rainbow. Nature is a good mother to us. It puts the expression of sentiments in our hearts. And very often wisdom falls on careless minds. They keep it hidden. The unkind heart finds its fulfillment in hatred and treason. When you do not understand and realise your possibilities, you can become a failure. Sometimes partnership is like a heap of hay, it collapses. When we open the window of our heart too wide, we risk disappointments. Strengthen your passion in favour of love and peace, and you shall obtain fulfilment. Sometimes someone's new philosophy may help you change your steps in life. When the situation involves a small margin, it is very awkward for a photo finish. It is a necessity in life to learn the art of living and the art of dying. If we live our values, it will be very easy for us. Historians say that the way that we are is the way that we be. War always cropped up through the foolishness of a diplomat. What is the belief of that statement of our time? Life is a game of our destiny. A self-disciplined society is conditioned by the welfare of the nation spirit. Love is like a tree. You have to water it for it to survive. Our heart is the centre of our life. When it is pleased, it is allowing life and love. Marriage is a human reality. It is a natural intention. Love is like the sun, it warms and lightens. The machine era is changing the model of our style of life, and this reflects on our mind and our personality. Injustice brings misery and poverty, and the thought of goodwill is very remote. Good society creates a healthy environment. Our will becomes good, and it reflects an accurate leadership. Let us put an end to the world of bitterness, fear, hatred and jealousy, and make a new person of ourselves so that we make an easier step to allow us to go on the right path. When two persons are furnished with good, loving license, they have a successful, loving partnership. A peaceful mind hides its imperfections by saying, "Make no mistakes, as this is a blessing. We must learn from our mistakes." Sometimes thoughts make you put your feet on firm ground. Trust in God, but try not to bring the stars in your hands. Talk to an old man in a kind manner, and you shall see the sweetness of youth in his face. Take care of your success, but keep your values in a golden box. Wine contains certain virtues, especially when it goes to the head. Scientists believe that they can change human nature, but only God has the ability to create new patterns. I like to believe in the best qualities in everybody, and this saves me many worries. Let each of us think that we are an act of God. We can all survive well without the little carelessness, but what a difference they make to our relationships when we actually care. It will be a sad day when we love less and lose trust in our fellow man. Happiness is a natural richness. Luxury is an artificial want. One of the secrets of life is common sense. I like to be in a garden to feel near our Lord's heart. In these days, the increase of stress makes us help those who are incapable of helping themselves. It is not discipline when we decide not to speak and keep what we know to ourselves. It is human passion to store bad deeds and forget the good ones. Sometimes words are precious stones when spoken at the right moment. At a time of sorrow, no word can lessen grief. Our life is made up of dull valleys. We must strengthen our faith to lighten our right pathway. When God embellishes you with possibility, it is a reward you must pass on to others. I believe that thoughts do not come from the mind, but from the heart. Sometimes the manner of giving is more valuable than the gift itself. I believe more in dignity than in handouts. Sometimes you just need to allow yourself to have that dignity, to honour who you are. Pleasures offer more delight when shared with others. It is a dull thing to enjoy them in solitude. Innocence is the mirror of truth. When the tongue utters words about hatred, some hearts will ache. Middle age is the phase of life, when you are clever enough to know yourself. My hope is in the future, because I want to settle all my dreams. Life is a wonderful cloud. It is a sort of splendid light, which I want to make brighter before I leave it for the future generations. We need to watch ourselves, our words, our reactions. We must control our human nature to create peace. When problems are shared, you feel the burden lighten. When they are shared, they are also solved better and quicker. We do not accept an argument when it is about ourselves. Very often we accept it when it is about others. While learning to speak, we have a very simple way to see life. We distinguish our words. These words are worth remembering. The beauty of kindness to one another is like a walk in the wonder of nature in her winter dress. A woman's heart dances to all kinds of music. Only time heals and settles a bitter and bad experience. It is a human feeling when freedom is taken away. You have a desire for everything. Very often we have a pleasant smile on our lips and a shining look in our eyes, but inside we have an enslaved heart. A wise man always keeps the wisdom of our Lord in front of his eyes. When a person fills his stomach with violence, he gathers only rotten fruit. When we ask for advice, it is very easy for us to make our ideas clear. Sometimes we do not learn from our own experiences. We try to solve our problems from other people's experiences. When we burst with bad temper, perhaps we will be acting out of our character. To be able to spend your free time intellectually, you have to have the utmost of strength. One funny side of the world is made up of a woman and wine. Power is the capacity of doing good deeds for our fellow men. Old men are enriched with wisdom. Young people are furnished with the grace of youth, and the later do not accept the former's leadership. You must do what you really like in life, otherwise you do not have the right style of life. A clever teacher shares his power with his pupils. Modern technology found fertile soil in every corner of the world. I hope there is a possibility that the seed will give wonderful harvest. If we want the marriage of tomorrow to be a success, we must take care of our children. We must fill them with genuine love and loyalty. Our mirror tells us what we are and who we are. When we believe in history, we have to put on a dramatic dress. A home without books is like a garden without flowers. Children have a right to be surrounded by books. Everything that is created contains a seed that leads to destruction. Something suffers does not always necessarily mean that humanity has a form of nature. We live in harmony until we break the pattern of creation. God invested a lot in humanity. He provided us with everything that is useful. To help your self-esteem, you must accept every compliment with a smile. Our future is top secret. We have to work for it day by day. I think life would be much easier for everyone if we consider ourselves as harmless. It is very important to practice a still tongue when self-control is needed. Roots are the life, they offer us stability. When we live in harmony with creation and the environment, we bring happiness into existence. It is God's will to learn how to love one another. Sometimes destructive criticism gives rise to rebellion. Parents should be models for their children. The work of famous people speaks after their death. Money changed our world from a beautiful rose into a dangerous thorn. Poetry is the therapy for the heart that feels the muse. Power is like wine, it goes to the head. Bad habits make our way easy and comfortable. Progress can be the worst enemy to our wonderful world. No one can take education and nobility away from you. They survive forever. I wish I can live my childhood again. I'm sure that my dreams and my plans would be different. Sometimes we put confusion on ourselves, we contaminate the world, and we bring things that should bring joy into darkness. Reality is a different thing from what we really expect from life. The grace of the Lord was divided equally amongst humanity. There is no need to envy one another. Everyone has beautiful things to share and to offer. When our heart suffers from pride, it becomes very hard. When the sun shines and warms our hearts, it brightens our minds, it fills us with kind thoughts. A strong democracy very often brings disagreement. When our thoughts are mixed with music, they give rest to our mind and to our hearts. Sometimes in our hearts, we wish that things had been better about ourselves in a selfish way, in a different way. If we love one another, God watches with love and we strengthen our principles. There are many ways to fight back injustice. It is our duty to claim this human right. God is very graceful. He gives us His grace. He puts the best adornments upon us. Life is a human drama. Sometimes it is bitter and sometimes it is sweet. When we lack confidence in others, we trust no one. And with this attitude, we put ourselves in an awkward situation. If we do not love our values, our heart is malnutritioned. When we have a reverent will, we put a pleasant smile on our lips and a strong glitter in our eyes. Life is beautiful. It is full of dreams and challenges. Try not to reach the way to perfection. You should rather try to correct your mistakes. When we seriously dream about success, we will only get disappointment. What looks easy for the strong is an obstacle for the weak. Life is made up of a variety of episodes. Some bring happiness, some bring happy memories, and some bring sadness and disappointment. Violence does not need a platform for peace. Thank you for listening to this podcast today. This podcast was based on healing. And the quotes that I read were from the book Wisdom of Life by Josephine Mitsud, a relative of mine who passed away recently. And this is a dedication to her. You've been listening to Joe-y Busuttil on Equator Brain Squeeze. Until next week.